Hey everybody, welcome to another Tuesday night Bullring with me and the gang. I'm sure we'll somehow pull a pretty decent chat out of our butt as usual. So I'm going to start with Blue. Would you like to do an intro, man? I'll get you off guard.
Holy crap, I couldn't. Well, yeah, you usually wait till like one of the last ones.
Put the bottle down.
Definitely caught me off guard. But no, thanks for the invite as always. Good to see everybody out there. It is a balmy 4 degrees out, so it is damn cold and it is snowing and it sucks. So staying warm as I can. But thanks for the invite. Good to see everybody.
Thanks for being here, Blue. Rick, would you like to do an intro, brother?
Thank you very much, and almost Merry Christmas, everyone. Getting in the holiday spirit here. So got Rosie with a pretty tree in the back. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and let's get this thing going.
Absolutely. Rosie, would you like to do an intro? And then, as usual, go ahead and you just start this conversation off with whatever's on your mind.
Well, okay. Top of my mind, I've been thinking about Rick a lot the last week or so with the fires in Southern California. So I was just hoping maybe he'd give an update on, what the situation, what his involvement is with that. If he's been involved or not, because, I follow him and I'm always concerned when we have first responders, Blue, and of course, Rick. So, Rick, what's going on with the fires down there?
Well, as of a couple days ago, I made it back to North Carolina, but last of what I heard was 6 fires. We got 6 fires in California. We got the largest one is the Thomas Fire, and I think it's up to 160,000 now. I think I heard some people talking about it's the size of New York, which not sure exactly on that or not. I can't confirm that, but most of it's wind driven, and I think the weather is definitely helping out. I think the wind's starting to settle down a little bit, but usually when we get Santa Ana winds, it doesn't impact for such a long time. We'll get a Santa Ana wind event that comes in. We get some fires for a day, day and a half, maybe a couple, 3. But then this one has really taken full effect with the matter of just the magnitude of how many days it's been and the events that have happened. But with that, and I'll try to make this short, which it's too late now, but we lost a lot of homes where we wouldn't have seen as many homes lost. So that's very unfortunate for those people that have lost their homes. One of our battalion chiefs, his brother lost a very, very, very nice house at the top of the hill. If that gives you an example of price-wise, there's quite a few zeros involved. I don't think we need to talk about how many there is, but luckily he was insured pretty darn well, and people got to recoup. But with recoup comes wintertime, which in turn comes some rain. You don't think of California as getting much rain, but every once in a while they do, and when they do, it comes fast and basically turns into a bunch of mudslides. So then you end up with a bunch of houses sliding down the hill. So you go from fires, tragedy, to mudslide tragedy. So other than that, we'll find out how the winter works out with the winter.
I was just curious because, our situation was different up here where our fire was, the winds were brief, measured in terms of maybe, 9 hours, but the destruction was incredible from, over the hill from Napa County and then into Sonoma County, and it just swept through and took out 6,000 homes. I think you're at about 600 down there. So the magnitude of destruction was on the order so far, just because of the density up in those hills. And as you say, in the hills, the homes, you can slap a few zeros on the end. You're talking about that $1 million to $5 million homes up in those hills. So the big issue now is shortfalls in revenue, city revenues and county revenues, because all that tax base has been has been wiped out. I computed on my blog, and I do have a blog, www.rosieokelly.com, looking at the financial impact on taxes and lost taxes. And I figured something on the order of $30 million less money would be coming into the county, which is quite a hit between the lost sales tax from, stores like Kmart that burned down and a lot of other restaurants and things. And of course, all the, Rick, the high priced homes that they pay really big taxes to be up on those hills, so, on the order of $10,000 a year and up in property taxes. So it's a big hit. Just stay safe. I mean, we're at the point where we're about 30% debris cleared by the Army Corps of Engineers. They still got a long way to go. They're running out of places to put all the crap, but probably looking at 10 to 15 years rebuild here on this, because there's frankly not the people. There's not the people to swing the hammers. There's 6,000 homes to be rebuilt, and there's not enough contractors in America in 2 years to rebuild all those homes. So it's tough. It's part and parcel, as you said, to live in California. And then we got the rainy season coming, and you don't know about hill stability with all those homes gone and all the brush gone. So anyway, just stay safe, Rick. We often spare a thought for you and the people out there on those lines. It's really dangerous. And I think you've lost one person. I think we lost 42 people up in these fires here. So you too, Blue. Anyway, the big talk, of course, is Bitcoin, and there's nothing new about the speculative bubble that's been building in the markets. The Federal Reserve is going to be meeting. They're going to be hiking interest rates pretty much for sure. Coming up, probably 2 hikes within the next 2 meetings. And then it's just a question of at what point with the application of rising interest rates do things get popped? And that's the big question on the stock market. How much can it sustain now? Things look good at this point, but things can be very much delicately balanced. So I'm still very cautious. I don't have a lot in the market. I'm not unhappy. I don't have a lot in. I had some Bitcoin stuff that I sold last week, and I'm not sad I sold it. I mean, it's tacked on a couple more $1,000 on that, but I'm just saying they now have futures on Bitcoin, and this thing has just suddenly exploded to the point where everybody and his mother is talking about Bitcoin and trading Bitcoin. And generally, when it reaches that point where you start to have a lot of liquidities or a lot of buying and selling on something that used to be very difficult to transact, like a Bitcoin, it's usually symptomatic of kind of the dumb money coming in at the end and taking positions, overpriced positions in Bitcoin and stuff. In other words, the smart money uses that surge in trading liquidity or the ease of getting in and out of positions to offload a lot of their long-held positions. They take advantage of that liquidity or that heavy flow of buying and selling to offload very large positions that they would have a difficult time offloading in a market that was very thin, like Bitcoin used to be, with relatively few people involved in it. Now, when Wall Street and the commodity markets get involved with futures, you have many more people getting involved and taking positions in Bitcoin only because it's a speculative vehicle, like gold, like stocks. So that heightened liquidity is it's a real open door for people that want to cash out, that have been in that for a long time. So it's just not the type of activity that's conducive to making money in that market. That's just my thought on that. Other than that, it's pretty much status quo. I think a lot of people are watching the election in Alabama tonight. Last I saw, it was kind of too close to call, but Roy Moore had a slight edge. 50 to 47, 51 to something like that. And that'll kind of be of a bellwether, because that should be a slam dunk for the Republicans, even with all the stuff, even with all the crap that came down about his younger days and dating teenagers or whatever.
Yeah, but the problem is with that, it's unsustainable. There's a lot of what ifs thrown up in the equation in that. If the guy's a damn predator, I have a problem with that. But at the same time, if accusations are being thrown out and are not substantiated, which in this case they're not, it's like, well, I mean, anybody can accuse anybody of anything, but if you can't prove it, it's not so much I'm supporting the guy, but at the same time, people can make accusations about any of us. If you don't have any proof to back it up, she had a high school annual, and everything about that story has been proven to be untrue. Every fucking bit of it. And it's like, come on. I mean, if you made up some shit and threw it at a guy, that don't make him guilty. It don't. He might be a asshole. He might be a fucking pedophile. I don't know, but I know what you presented to me is false. And you've proven it. The evidence that you gave me is false. The high school annual, in case anybody don't know, has already been proven to be thrown out because it's bullshit. It's 2 different inks. She wrote in it, oh, let me write in who did this and what date they done it. And, later on, it's like, what? Really?
Well, my point is,
in there 20 years later, and then said, yeah, that was him.
Yeah, my point was that people wouldn't really kill. Some people would just vote on the news, unfortunately, and wouldn't really understand that there's politics involved when you level accusations, especially as Linda Francine said in prior elections. This was never brought up before in this, but it's been brought up now, and that it had some effect on the campaign. It's probably just a measure of how dirty politics is these days. It was also very timely to bring up that sex card in light of the current, all the dominoes that have fallen after Harvey Weinstein. And, a lot of people assume because your name is brought up, you're automatically guilty of stuff. But I would also suggest, and I'm from the South too, so I'm allowed to say this, that traditions are different in the South than they are in the North. And what a lot of those traditions have to do with dating and much younger, teenagers and stuff. It's just a different sort of social atmosphere when you're in the South. And I think a lot of people like to stretch that into some type of perversion, which it's not. That's the thing that bothers me about that. The automatic that you're just picking a low-hanging fruit, blah, 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 and all that. And instead of being in a normal course of dating. And, that's the way I feel like the press has that kind of bias, like Yahoo and like CNN, to sort of stretch that out and try to push that into the realm of sexual abuse or something like that. And we'll see tonight, how it goes. I think by all rights he should win. So that's about what I really have. Of course, Bitcoin, if anybody has any questions about that.
Well, all I can say about Bitcoin is another fiat currency. And I'm not saying you can't make money dealing with it, but it is a flat out fiat currency, no different than the United States dollar. If you want to bet on it and if you make money, great. Good for you. But it is a bullshit currency that could go to zero tomorrow or tonight.
Yeah,
it's crazy the amount of money people could have made if they would have bought that shit months ago. $22.73 a share right now. Today alone, it was up 422.
Well, it depends which. There's several Bitcoin. There's several cryptocurrencies. Some are up around 12,000, 13,000. The point.
Yeah, this one's GBTC.
Yeah, yeah.
That's probably one of the bigger ones.
The point is, who in the hell is selling at this level, right? I mean, it's not people that bought yesterday for the most part. You got, in my mind, long-term people that are taking advantage of this rush of liquidity or the ease of buying and selling to be able to get out of these positions. And like TR said, there's nothing underneath it. There's nothing there. With gold, there at least is nominally something there that has industrial, electrical, and aesthetic use in jewelry, but there's really nothing underlying, the Bitcoin. So just beware, people are trading U.S. currency for a Bitcoin.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's
I totally agree with you. It's just amazing. It's almost was designed to make the rich richer, because if you bought in the 52-week low for the one I was talking about was $100. The 52-week high is 23.27. So if you went in, I mean, you're like, geez, what is that? 2,000%?
Yeah, it's like Linda said. If you have a ton of money in Bitcoin, can you be sure there would be buyers if you wanted to sell your whole position? You couldn't be sure of that a month ago. You couldn't be sure of that 2 months ago. But the past couple days, it's like your ship came in, and you can float infinite amounts of your Bitcoin and get back to U.S. dollars. So you start to get to the greater fool theory of you buy it, and then you hopefully turn around and you have somebody to sell it to, but maybe you'll be the one holding the bag, and there's no greater fool than you when the time comes to sell that you're left holding the bag on it. So it's to me, it's symptomatic of the times of money being too cheap. It's interest rates are too low. There's too much speculation. There's not enough real solid good investments. So people are, it's too hard to get real estate loans, blah, blah, blah. So people are turning towards any speculative vehicles that they can right now to try to make capital gains.
Did you guys see my external comment? I have no idea what a Bitcoin is. I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about.
It's fake money.
But this is crazy. All I did was I pulled up a Google search engine. I typed in what is a, and it automatically filled in Bitcoin. Automatically.
Well, just put baseball cards in or something.
That's because the computer knows it's watching you.
That's just crazy as hell.
It is, and it's one of those things that'll be seen in the high side is, because look, if here's the problem, having the futures market involved has a plus and a minus if you trade Bitcoin. The plus is that all of a sudden you have people on a trading floor in Chicago or New York that are making a market in this product, whether it's pork bellies, copper, whatever the hell it is. There's people that trade that just for the speculative purposes of making money. Therefore, with those people in there, you have a more free-flowing market back and forth, and prices are easier to establish and deals are easier to be done. But when speculation becomes too rampant, like gold became in 1979, 1980, when the Hunt brothers were cornering the silver market, and I remember it was like it was yesterday, the commodities exchange came in and increased the margin requirements for holding a contract. And when they increased the amount of money you had to put down to establish a new position, it just crushed the market at that point and just killed it. So the futures market is great if you're taking advantage of a move at the end, but it's terrible when it reaches a speculative excess, because when the commodity exchange steps in, which they will if it gets way too speculative, and they demand changes in margin, the amount of money you put down to hold a position, it will absolutely crush the values in that market. So now Linda said you can use futures as a form of insurance. Yes, you can. You can. You can. You can. I don't know about the. I'm not going to get technical with puts and calls and that type of thing, but you can hedge your positions and things like that. But these aren't things that people are aware of that traded Bitcoins. These are not sophisticated people for the most part. They're sophisticated about computers and, establishing an alternate currency. But, all of a sudden you have the tuna swimming into the sharks here. You know what I'm saying? You have two schools meeting in the middle of the ocean. And guess who's going to win at the end? It's going to be the sharks. And the sharks are going to be the ones that are going to be eating the lunch of the tuna, the people that are playing the Bitcoin. I mean, also some countries have outlawed it. China has outlawed Bitcoin.
They probably invented it.
It's a good concept, and it's running pretty good right now. But at the same time, it has no basis. It's based on faith, just like the United States dollar. It's based on faith that it's still worth something tomorrow.
Correct. It's whatever people value, people ascribe to it. That's right. And the Fed's not happy about having alternative, paying your property taxes in Bitcoin, and right now they don't care because you have to convert it to U.S. dollars. They're not going to take dropping your Bitcoins on the counter at the tax office and saying, "Here, I'm paying my property tax." They're going to want their United States dollars for that. So right now, at this point, they don't really care.
Yeah.
You can be damn sure they're not going to establish it as an alternative currency.
How hard would it be to go back to the gold standard?
I don't think it would be that hard at all myself. Well, I take that back because we probably don't have any more fucking gold because our U.S. Mint has probably already given away all our gold. There's a reason they don't do any pictures of Fort Knox. The last picture of Fort Knox with any gold was like in the fucking 50s or 60s. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, I just think, it's like TR said, and we all know that, there'd be a huge credit crunch in the short term. And, there'd be a stampede to obviously get into, there'd be transitional problems with the gold. So silver would have to be a part of that exchangeable. It used to be 32-to-1 was the traditional. 32 ounces of silver was 1 ounce of gold was the way it worked in the old days. But TR is correct. A dollar is only the value that we give it in commerce and recognize it as a fair trade for what we're selling or what we're buying. And it's all good until people stop accepting a currency. That's when the problem begins. And then all of a sudden you have a problem that could potentially spread like wildfire. And I tell you, the U.S. government has no interest in seeing an alternate currency be established that could in any way undermine the free credit abuses that they enjoy now, to raise infinite money, to just make a bookkeeping entry, to print money, so to speak. That would have to stop under we could not probably finance ourselves with on a gold basis at this point in time. In other words, things have to collapse before you can even consider something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to go with the conversation.
It's not really relevant. It's relevant in a way because you like to think that Fort Knox is just loaded to the gills with gold, but in another way, it's not relevant if everybody thinks it's loaded to the gills with gold, and it's just the perception's the important thing, not the not the actual knowledge of that. You know, if everybody believes something to be true, then nobody has to go open the doors and take a look at it and physically count it. And that's the game we play here.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that isn't even federal money, right? Because it's owned by its own entity.
What, the gold in Fort Knox? A lot of that gold.
Isn't that part of the Federal Reserve, or is that different?
Actually, the gold does transfer. It used to transfer physically from country to country by ship and other things, but now it's all done by bookkeeping entry. You know, the Chinese can own a significant amount of any theoretical gold that's in Fort Knox, and we wouldn't know about it. We would have a call on certain gold in other European banks and Asian banks. It's you know, some deals still get settled. Some countries still want to be settled in gold and bookkeeping entries on gold and customs settlements and other things. So yeah, the Federal Reserve doesn't have any gold. The United States Treasury has gold, and yeah, they're just the custodian. All they are is the safekeeping of the gold that really belongs, bookkeeping entries to deposits that are on the Federal Reserve system. You know, we still have like a dual system here where there's still gold being used, but it's mostly just fiat currency now.
Thanks for the answer.
Eric, I got choked up. For anybody that don't know, damn. Let me get it out here. All right. For anybody that don't know, our money is not backed up by gold or silver anymore. Holy shit.
I thought you were going to tell us something sad. Like, I'm like, oh shit, what happened? Like, did you get a text? Like, did someone pass away that we all know?
No, I just.
You're just dying.
Yeah. There's no clause or something.
I'm glad you're better.
I'm choked up. Shit.
Yeah, I didn't get choked up because of emotions. It was just that liquor went down the wrong way. Yeah, our money's not backed up by anything other than faith. Purely faith. It's like if I write a note to Rick or Blue and say, I'll give you $100 when I get it. That's what our money is. That's what Bitcoin is. It's purely faith-based. It has no value other than the people that are trading it believe that you will honor what you say you're going to do. You know, if Rick says, hey, I got, whatever, he's got XYZ, you know, tell him I'll give him $100 for it. And he goes ahead and gives me XYZ, and he's waiting for my $100. He has to believe that I'll give him that $100 after he gives me XYZ, or we do it at the same time, whatever. That's what our money is. That's what Bitcoin is. To a certain extent, that's what our stocks are. Our stocks are like, oh, look, I bought GE stocks for whatever, $500 a fucking share. But tomorrow it could be worth zero. You know, when you play the stock market, when you play, and this is just me from a common man, that's why I don't play the stock market. That's why I don't have a 401k, because they're fucking gambling with my money, and I could lose every fucking cent that I put into it tomorrow. So I don't fucking believe in it. I don't participate in the 401k.
Yeah, I just looked this. I just looked this up on here just to drill down on this. This was in 2015. The U.S. Treasury currently owned at that time 8,134 tons of gold, of which 7,700 tons was stored by the U.S. Mint. And of course, we do mint gold coins and collector things, $20, $10. 4,500 tons at Fort Knox, 1,300 tons in Denver, 1,700 tons at West Point, and 418 tons at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So there's a lot of gold out there. Plus, they store at Fort Knox, very valuable items in the United States deposit. Very valuable things that people have. Some presents from foreign countries and things like that. So that's 2.3%. They say 2%, 2.5% of all the gold ever mined is in Fort Knox. So who in the hell knows? I mean, they're not letting you in to take a look at it. They're sure as hell not letting me in. So that's the realities of what's important.
I'll tell you a conspiracy theory to look up. I've mentioned it before. Look up, and this is for anybody out there, not just you, Rosie. Look up all the gold in the world. Google how much gold is in the world. And you know what they'll tell you? You know what'll show up? That it'll fill up one swimming pool, one Olympic-sized swimming pool. And if you believe that, you are really a fucking fool. Because man has been digging up gold since man has been able to figure out how to dig up gold. And they're telling us that all the gold in the world, every fucking computer chip that has a little bit of gold on it, every little high school ring, wedding ring in the world, in the entire fucking world, they tell me that it would only fill up one swimming pool.
Now, is there a difference between, because I typed that in, how much gold is in the world, and it says how much above ground gold that's been mined, is there in the world? The best estimate at the end of 2011 is that it's about 165,000 metric tons.
It's a relatively rare element. It's the heaviest element. The heaviest on the periodic table. It has a lot of good uses to it. The other thing I just want to add for the depository here is there's a lot of countries around the world that are racked by political instability too. And a lot of those countries choose to have the United States act as a depository for their gold to help them manage their currencies and stuff. That's another common. The U.S. is the depository for countries that feel like they're unstable enough to have their reserves protected. They don't have any fear of having that deposited in the United States. So a lot of foreign gold is held there too. A lot of foreign banks and a lot of, it's a safe place to keep their gold reserves.
Wow. Okay. Well, here's just all right. It's basically what I'm seeing. So TR's damn near on the ball. I think he might actually have overestimated, but a 2011 report says that if you were to take all of the gold in the world and put it into one cube, it would be a 67-foot high, 67-foot wide, 67. So a big ass cube with just the dimensions of 67. That doesn't seem like that much gold.
I heard somebody say it would be the bottom block of the Washington Monument would be all the gold ever mined. That's about 67 feet up, 67 feet across, and 67 feet deep. So that would be about it.
Damn.
All right.
It doesn't seem like that much.
Here's the kicker to that. if you believe that, that would make gold more valuable, right? And we will get into I'm just going. I'm going conspiracy theory your asses right on through this for a few minutes because man has been fucking mining gold since man could mine, and if you believe since the inception of mining fucking ore, that is all the gold that it was ever on Earth. Really? I mean, Blue, Rick, I'm pretty sure you got a gold ring. You got married. Hell, I got a gold ring. And you're telling me there's this one fucking block that's 60 by 60. That's all the gold that's on Earth, period, ever? Really? All right.
Well, you know what? If you took that story, TR, and you just took everybody's jewelry and melted it all down, just that alone, you would think you'd get a block like that.
Well, you got to imagine with 8 billion, 7 billion people in the world, probably, 7.7, 70, 80, 90% don't have any gold at all, rings or anything. So, I mean, it's just like anything else, you just have the upper crust of the world that really has gold. The thing with gold is if you use it in contacts and things, you can draw that so fine and so thin the coating that that's what makes gold so tremendous as a element.
But you also have to add in every country, Russia, China, America, that has gold reserves. What is in Fort Knox? What is in Russia? What is in China? What was in Iraq that we stole? Put all that in there too.
And Mr. T's necklace.
Really think about it. Do you really think that the entire world, as long as we've been mining gold, would only fill up a fucking swimming pool? And you got every country in the world trying to stockpile gold. We got gold rings. My fucking high school ring was 18% gold or 18 karat gold. Really? Me from Travelers Rest, a little fucking country bumfuck fucking town. And my high school ring was, maybe it was 14%. I don't know, 14 karat or 18 karat gold. And you're saying that the entire world's gold would only fill up a swimming pool?
Well, the base of the Washington Monument is 67 feet high, could hold a lot of a lot of metal in there, and it's not available everywhere. Most countries don't have any gold reserves. And I just feel like mining methods were piss poor until a couple hundred years ago. It was just hard rock mining, and then we developed leaching with cyanide and things so that the amount of gold recovered could increase. But it was pretty piss poor pickings for, don't be fooled by the Spanish galleons that went down. There were a lot of ships that went down with nothing on it except sailors and wheat and other cargoes. But I'm just saying, gold was hard to get. It was hard to mine. And
yeah, I agree. Gold is hard to get. It's 2017. All right. We've been mining gold since man could mine. I can walk 2 rooms over. I can go open my safe up and bring a handful of gold out and throw it on the damn desk right now. But according to Google, all the gold in the world will only fill up a fucking swimming pool. Even though I can walk into 2 rooms over and bring in a handful of it. And I bet Rick could. I bet Blue could. I bet you could, Rosie. I'm telling you, it's bullshit what they're telling us the amount is. That's my conspiracy.
I don't think we can judge.
The amount that they tell us that there is in the world is bullshit.
I'm
That's a
waiting.
good point too about the like 14 karat gold, 18 karat gold, just in order to keep it strong enough to do anything with. So
You have to.
you have solid 100% pure gold. That is
the fucking Kremlin has gold-plated goddamn domes on their fucking at the Kremlin.
Yeah.
The Egyptians had fucking gold fucking trinkets out the ass. Come on, really? You telling me that there's only enough gold in the entire goddamn world that will only fill up one fucking swimming pool?
Well, I don't know about a swimming pool. But the base of the Washington Monument, yeah, I would say, yeah, 60.
Hell, fire engines got gold leaf lettering.
It was, how much gold is in Egypt, right? The question is, how much did they take from other people when they conquered their lands and stuff? I think the amount of gold has just been moved around from place to place, and it may appear that here it's in Egypt, there it's in Israel and Jerusalem, now it's moved over to Turkey, and it's pretty hard to get. I'm just saying. First couple thousand years it was mined, it was probably really a bitch to get any appreciable amount of gold.
Okay, Blue looked it up. 67 by 67 square foot. 67 by 67 square foot. Do you realize how little that is?
Well, when
in
you
the scope of the fucking world, if there's only they're saying that the amount of gold ever mined out of the entire earth since the mankind is only 67 by 67.
By
Think
60,
about it.
by
Think
60,
about it.
you're missing the cubic element. You're talking about.
No, I'm not missing a goddamn thing. I'm telling you,
the cubic is
67 by 67 for the entire fucking earth. Do you know how much gold I seen in Saudi Arabia when I was in Desert Storm? Them motherfuckers was in fucking buses trying to sell us fucking gold.
That's a 7-story tall building. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been mined for tens of thousands of fucking years. And that's all they found? Bullshit.
Probably 50% of it came out in the last 50 years. So I'm just saying.
It does evaporate, so you guys got to take that into consideration.
It never evaporates. It never, it only changes form. That's all. Thin. And you can cover the dome of a building with a couple ounces of, you can beat that crap so thin like gold leaf. You can buy that stuff in the art store for a couple bucks. It's beat so thin, but yet it makes it look all shiny and beautiful on the dome.
So TR,
I think, Rosie, you're missing my point. I really do.
I don't know. I'm not missing your point. I'm saying I think you're missing the cubic element of it.
You're saying that you believe that there's a 67 by 67 cube, which is huge, that's every bit of the gold in the world. And there's not any country you can go into. There's not any country that doesn't stockpile gold. There's not any country that doesn't have gold. Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe there's some that don't. Every country stockpiles gold. In America in itself, I bet you could melt down every fucking wedding ring and come up with a cube that's 67 by 67 feet.
I'll take that bet.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. How many years have Americans been trading wedding rings that are made out of gold? I don't care if it's 14 karat, 18 karat, whatever. Think about that. How many years have we been doing that just in America? I mean, like I said, I could walk 2 rooms over and give you a handful of fucking gold. And I'm a fucking redneck from South Carolina. I do not believe there's only 67 square cubic foot of gold in the world. I do not believe that.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on. How about
All
silver?
right, let's move on. All right, here's the CZ. Check it out.
Here's iced tea.
Woo!
That's what's going to beat your ass at Farmageddon next year, Rick. Just so you know.
That's a good looking one. How about Thursday, Raj? You going to show up Thursday?
Now I got to work Thursday. I'm off next Thursday, but I don't know if you're having a shoot or not.
All right, I'll have to figure it out.
But if nothing else, next month I definitely want to go to a competition and make a fool of myself and let you film it.
You're not going to make a fool of yourself. Actually, I'll have someone video it and I'll run the course with you.
I think I'll do decent. I think I'm okay with under pressure. I know at the farm I don't. There is some pressure and it does make a difference, but actually I really don't mind being under the. Well, of course I don't mind being under pressure under the camera, because otherwise I wouldn't have a fucking YouTube channel.
You're going to see more pressure at Farmageddon than you would at this shoot, because honestly, you don't give a fuck how good you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do want to do it. I do want to go with. Is it in South Carolina or North Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay. Can you say what city?
Yeah, it's in it's kind of between Flat Rock and Henderson. I don't know. It's more Flat Rock, I guess.
Okay. Well, that's not far. Not far from me anyway. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if they'll do it the week before Christmas, and I don't know what your schedule is. But if they're doing that and you're going to go, let me know. If not, come January, when available, let me know, and we'll see if we can go do it. I don't give a damn if I make a fucking complete fool of myself. I would like to go do that.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Thursday. Yeah, so it'll be after Christmas.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Blue 823 in deep thought.
No, I can't get over this gold thing. I just I keep doing these weird searches, and it says that Fort Knox only holds 2.3% of the gold ever mined.
Holy shit!
Ever.
Yeah, 2.3 earlier. Yeah, it's not much there. It's very heavy.
I don't know. Just growing up earlier, and you just picture Fort Knox being this huge major vault with armed guards and this huge room filled with top to bottom gold bars, and we got 2.3%.
Well, is it bigger than 67 by 67 by 67 by 67?
No,
only about 25 feet across or something, by about 25 by like.
You know what? When you try to estimate how much gold is in the United States, if they actually knew the real number, all the gold would be picked up already. Like, that's just bullshit.
If their number is correct, that there's only 67 cubic feet of gold ever mined, I could house 2% of it in my goddamn house right now.
Let's see, Jones.
That's why I say bullshit. I call bullshit.
Well, here's the update. Jones is with 89% of the precincts in. Jones 49.7, Moore 48.7.
No, wait, say that again, Rosie.
Yeah, let me put this on. Jones with 88% of the precincts in. Jones, the Democrat, has 49.7. Moore has 48.7.
So he's winning. Okay.
No, he's losing.
Yeah, and
I thought you said Moore had 48.
Jones has 49.7. Moore has 48.7.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
And then Jefferson County is still to be counted, and that's a heavy Democrat county, evidently. down there. So.
We went through this with fucking Trump, and he ended up winning too. So that's just one seat. And with the Democrats falling out left and right with the sexual harassment cases, even if we lose that seat, we might pick up a few.
There might be some rooms.
Ugh.
What else is going on? How's the wide world of YouTube?
How's your monetization been going, Rick? Since you
Mine?
the video
It's actually better than it has been.
yeah,
It was really bad.
Did you take any steps to appeal or complain to? Because I
just click that little button. That's it.
It's
gotten way better though.
I put buying a shotgun, no problem at all. Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I bitched very hard, and then I think they have the ability to adjust individual channels to, you know, if you're a squeaky wheel and want the grease, they'll give it to you. I think so.
Yeah.
Well, with the advertisements that I've seen, I mean, if they're advertising a Chevy truck or a Ford truck or a whatever, I mean, you can advertise that on a gun channel because people that buy trucks a lot of times buy guns too. So what's the fucking problem?
Well, they had a letter from the CEO of YouTube, and she was talking about how they kind of overreacted with their initial way of doing things, and they still have a long way to go to kind of bring back the balance. You know, they ran real scared for a while because, you know, that's the lifeblood of Google is advertising money. So of course they're gonna kiss ass as fast and furious as they can. And then there was something about kids stuff coming out, like bad stuff was showing up on kids videos and you know, comments in the comments section, and by pedophiliacs and stuff like that were showing up on kids videos and stuff. So then they started panicking again. It's, you know, it's a big piece of real estate to patrol out there. You know, YouTube with you know, 8 billion views a month, and you can imagine. So, but yet for the advertisers, it's bigger than cable TV. I mean, there's more people watch YouTube by far than television, and so they have some power. But I'm glad to hear that, Rick, that it's because you were pretty hacked. I was too for a while, but seems to have gotten better.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, whenever I was doing those hunting videos, which I didn't put very many out this year. Last year I had no issues. I just put the title like Northwest PA hunting, you know, deer season, day 1, day 2, day 3. Didn't have an issue. This year I put out like same title pretty much, but it was like day 1. It would not monetize. Day 2 would not monetize. I was like, what the, you know, I don't understand. It worked last year and I'm not doing anything different. So on day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many days I did, at the end of it, I put virtual reality hunting experience video, and in the tags, I put video game review, and they monetized it instantly.
Well, any of them that they don't monetize, you'll usually have that little button that you can say review manually. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah, they'll
don't think that you have to get 1,000. No way. You know, they'll do it, especially if you bitch a little bit and take time to go down to the bottom of the page and hit that help button, and then write a little letter to them and tell them lighten up.
Okay, we got a little bit of time here. I know me and Blue and many others out there, the VidMe, we tried that route, and looks like, well, it don't even look like, hell, it is ending on the 15th, I think. So in a couple of days, that's going away. Is there a chance that another company can come in and take over to YouTube, or are we just stuck with YouTube and their policy?
The answer I gave other people: YouTube controls 75 to 80% of the search. Therefore, they control the gateway. When somebody does a search, they like to put YouTube videos pop up now in there. So, you know, for somebody else to grab that real estate is going to be incredibly difficult to do, because Google is the gateway for search. So I think being a monopoly position like that, it's going to be very difficult. They come and go. You know, you have Daily Motion, which is kind of a flop. You have Vimeo or Vimeo, whatever that is. That's more for professional cinematographers and movie makers and those kind of people. I can't see anybody really challenging them. And by the way, just to put a shameless plug for myself, my video for the Great Santa Rosa Fire, a cinematic experience, has been nominated to the London International Film Festival. So I'm kind of excited about that.
All right. I stepped away, but I heard something. You had a video that was nominated, and what was that?
I did a video, a cinematic overview of the Great Santa Rosa Fire up here in October, and that has been nominated to the London International Film Festival. So I'm very excited about that. That'll be coming up in February. So
that's awesome.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, everybody.
That's really awesome. Now, is that something you uploaded on YouTube first, and then it just kind of? Okay, yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations.
So thank you. Yeah, that's just got that notification yesterday morning, so I was really excited about that.
That's cool. That's real cool.
But anybody else have any thoughts? I just think, you know, whoever's there first, and Google happened to be there first organizing the internet. And I think it's as such, with their scale, their size, their reach, the ability to protect their search, it's very difficult. You know, you have Mozilla, Firefox used to try to do their own organizational way, and they ended up just using Google search, integrating that into their browser. You have Microsoft is still trying to use Bing, but how many people are using Bing for searches? So it's, you know, advertisers want to go where the big eyeballs go. So I think it's just really difficult to have somebody that's going to compete. And thank you, Side Chat. I think it's going to be very difficult to have something that can successfully compete with that video platform. Facebook is kind of trying, but how do they break out of the entertainment videos as opposed to, this is what our family did on the weekend, blah, 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 and that kind of thing. You know,
there's really nowhere on Facebook that I know of that you can go. Okay, let's say on Facebook, I want to search hunting videos. You can type in hunting videos, but it brings up a channel, or not a channel, but a page, and it doesn't give you really a whole lot of like a wide scope. It kind of, you know, it really narrows you down. I don't think Facebook is going to.
I just think Facebook is at greater risk for being eventually obsoleted by the next thing that come along than say a Google, because Facebook's a trendy thing, whereas Google's like, it's almost like the World Book Encyclopedia. I mean, it's not trendy at all, but it just is. It just exists. It's what we use to you know, when I look up Fort Knox and what the holdings are in Fort Knox, I mean, Google's the one that just comes up. Yeah, like a MySpace. I mean, it's so superseded. Yeah, MySpace is virtually long gone, but that's why I say Facebook, people's trends, young people. I mean, you know, I mean, grandmas and grandpas are going to use Facebook, you know, and that kind of thing. Just to there's always something bigger and better to come along, but I just think you're talking about a reference book, like a dictionary, an encyclopedia, Wikipedia, all that crap is on Google.
Now, with what the hell was it, VidMe? Is there a possibility, and I'm just saying this is a possibility because the email that I got basically said that all of their servers, the memory space got filled up, and it was going to cost them X amount of money to expand it to keep it running, so they shut down. Is there a chance, and I'm just gonna, this is gonna be the conspiracy theory thing, TR, hand me your tinfoil hat. Is there a chance that YouTube started all this shit with the gun channels and all the other channels that are kind of fringe to get them to, you know, not drop ship, but run over to another channel and hurry up and start uploading all these videos? So VidMe all of a sudden got this just, you know, huge influx of data being uploaded to their servers, and it couldn't handle it and they had to shut down. I mean,
Blue, let's think about it this way. Let's think about providing alternative site for video uploading. First of all, nobody's going to advertise until it's built out and it's sustaining and it's proven that they're getting the eyeballs on it. That's number one. Number two is so your capital cost to have a place to put all your storage racks, all your zillions of terabit of potential storage. Then you have to categorize that. You have to have that all, you know, there has to be the way to index that and present that on pages, and then have the search function for that. Now, who's going to control the search function for that? Well, it's going to be a small one within the VidMe. All that stuff costs tremendous money to build that out with software engineering and with the hardware, the racks and racks of air-conditioned, you know, storage, and the ability to have all the, you know, how much capacity do you need for incoming data lines to be able to properly feed that, so you're not waiting 15 hours to queue up a video for it to get processed and put up. And how about the different formats? Like YouTube allows you to put up MP4, MOV. There's so many different formats that they allow you, encoding of videos to put up in ultra high definition 4K and even some 8K video now. VidMe doesn't have the capability to really be able to store this, to give the storage space for that kind of thing. So I just think the capital investment is just so big that they can't afford to infinitely invest money and then hope advertisers eventually come and start to support the flow of videos. So,
and with VidMe, that was their big thing, is, you know, they started a monetization program. It was in the beta test, and, you know, none of the advertisers came over, and that's probably what they were banking on to help fund, you know, making it a little bigger, but it just didn't work out for them.
Vimeo, or Vimeo, whatever they call it, beyond a certain amount of, if you want to store your video or upload it, then you pay so much per month or per year to be, or so much per gigabytes of storage to have. So that way they keep going. So that way professional cinematographers that have their amateur or the semi-professional or professional works have a public venue that they can put a link to on blogs, or can show people as show reels and things for their work. And they're willing to pay for that great storage and much faster uploading and downloading ability than YouTube has, because it's kind of a paid platform, so there's less people on it. You know, YouTube is great because it's all free. They take care of formatting your video, they take care of storing it, they take care of showcasing it, putting advertising on it, collecting the money, distributing. I mean, it's a lot for free of charge that they give you. So I just don't know how another company can sustain that capital investment to compete. That's just my thought. So I don't know how TR feels about it, or Rick. So
The TR needs to wake up.
You know, I'm just listening and watching the comments. I mean, because I thought the VidMe, I know many of us, you know, went over there, jumped over there, and, you know, started our channel over there. But to be honest, I didn't do anything special for it, because I, just like Rosie said, I mean, YouTube has a really, I mean, they got their nails dug deep into this. I got videos that's 7 years old that are still on YouTube. They're still on their fucking server, you know, and that's hard to compete with. And as far as people saying, you know, okay, they demonetize this video, that video, whatever. This is my First Amendment right. You know, you hate me if you want, but YouTube isn't my First Amendment right. YouTube is a private company that does offer a service, and we're all using it, but it's not our First Amendment. We can say whatever the fuck we want, but at the same time, they can demonetize. Hell, they can fucking delete our videos at any time. They can delete our entire fucking channel if they want to. That's not your First Amendment right. Your First Amendment is only that the government can't quell your fucking speech. The government can't shut you up. That is your First Amendment right. So if YouTube demonetizes, if YouTube mutes your fucking video, if YouTube deletes your video, if YouTube fucking deletes your channel, that's not your First fucking Amendment right. Okay? Get a grip, people.
I don't think there's not a company out there that can compete with YouTube. I mean, they're so far in, like TR said. I mean, you look at full 30 or whatever, some of the large channels have the ability to go over to. And it's definitely a Second Amendment place where you could put a lot of videos. But if they had the resources and all that stuff, you know, you're getting people that aren't looking for our stuff, you know, and all of a sudden come across it, you know, and that's how you're getting views. You know, if you look at your subscriber base to your non-subscriber base under views, you know, the majority of them are probably going to be non-subscribers. So
yeah, and YouTube keeps expanding. You know, they keep forming agreements with other companies. They get more sophisticated translation ability, so people in, you know, Nigeria or whatever, or you know, Borneo are able to watch translated videos and enjoy Rick is your six covered video on guns and things like that. I mean, that's the stuff that YouTube has the ability to invest and make happen. Plus, they're getting to the point they're putting this on TV, and it's almost going to be like a cable channel is going to be YouTube, where you can just click into your cable box and there's YouTube, which even further broadens the scope of YouTube's reach. And the YouTube Red, even though some of your videos may not monetize, there's a certain amount of YouTube Red revenue you get for people that are paying a paid subscription per month for that. So they just keep pouring the money into investing and making it bigger. And I don't just think the other companies have the ability to keep up unless it's a very narrow-based platform. Unless you were going to have, like, you know, gun video incorporated or something like that became attractive to all the gun people. And
at Papa's Place, I'm wondering if we'll talk about something for a while. Something fun for a while.
Well, I mean, with the believe it or not, not that my chats are that informative or whatever, but we try to be. TV is becoming a null and void point in America. I mean, less and less people are watching TV. More and more people are watching the internet. So outlets like this, not necessarily this chat, but this is becoming the news. We are the ones that's giving the information out there. And that's why I try to do a little research and try to share a little knowledge, because chats like this are actually more popular than the actual news on TV.
Atomic Bull says, how much of a private company can Google, YouTube be when the government funds them with subsidies of 600 million? Sounds more like a government partner than a private company. Well, the United States government, remember, I think it was the Defense Department developed the concept of the internet. So really, they believe that Google exists at the pleasure of the U.S. government and their operations. So you can bet that there's a certain amount of intelligence gathering that goes on Google in terms of if you put how to build an atom bomb or how, terroristic threats and things like that. I'm sure the government's very involved with analyzing search and things like that. But 600 million in the capital value of YouTube is not even a drop in the bucket. It's not even a fart in a windstorm compared to the hundreds of billions of dollars that the capital value of Google is worth.
Blue. 4 degrees, man.
4 degrees. No smoker's worth that.
I was in I think it was 28-degree weather, and I was like, whew.
Ooh, I was 31 walking to work this morning. Ooh, that was enough for me.
We could, and here's another reason people are quitting watching the news. I just watched some videos right after the last bombing in New York. Was it New York or New Jersey?
New York.
I had a pipe bomb. I mean, it was kind of a failed attempt. Don't get me wrong.
Coming out of the subway, yeah.
Yep. But what did CNN talk about? They talked about how many Diet Cokes Trump drank a day. That was their fucking story. We're going to talk about how many fucking Diet Cokes Trump is drinking a day. Not the fact that a fucking Muslim tried to blow up hundreds of people in a subway. He failed, but it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about Trump and diet drinks, diet sodas. I don't know if it's Pepsi or Coke or whatever it was. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
that is why people are turning off the news and watching the internet. That is why they're watching the Drudge Report or whatever it is. Hell, maybe even this chat. I don't know. Because you had a fucking Muslim. Yes, it was another fucking Muslim that tried to fucking kill Americans.
No. Wasn't it a Christian NRA member?
No, it was a fucking Muslim.
Okay. All right.
That's what I said. All Yahoo's the same way. The front cover is about ripping Melania Trump for what she's wearing and Trump's latest faux pas and his the poll results are in. Trump's the most unpopular president at this point in history of any president in this administration. This is, I think, what's ripping this country apart is we've lost these news services that at least had some credibility, some little shred of credibility in their news gathering. Now people are all dispersed all over. They don't know what the fuck to believe anymore. Some people believe everything that Alex Jones says. Some people believe everything CBS News says. Some people believe everything the Christian Broadcast Network. You have so many sources of, quote, facts, unquote. This is, I think, is what's really tearing this country apart, is that we don't have any commonality of belief anymore, what we can believe in. So we end up questioning everything and tearing apart.
I've been on chats for several years. I've been on Matt's chat, Resist to Tyranny, David from American Warning. And if you go back and you look at those chats, I tried my best. I mean, literally, I tried my best to defend Muslims and say that it was only a select few that, did bad things, and I was like, well, not all Muslims are bad. Not all Muslims are bad. I've been saying this for fucking years. For years. They got so aggravated with me. if their eyeballs could shoot lasers out, they would have burnt me to the fucking ground. How hard I tried to defend Muslims. But you know what? After fucking years and years and years of trying to defend them, I finally come to the conclusion, fuck Muslims, fuck Islam. They're a bunch of fucking barbarians, and fuck them all. I don't give a fuck if we kill them all. Kill them all. I don't give a fuck. This is after years and years and years and years of defend them. Eventually, I got to the point where it's like, you know what? You're a Muslim. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck if you live or die. Period. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, Missy Jen's steering you over on that.
I mean, seriously, if you go back and look, I mean, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, you'll see me defending Muslims. But with their agenda, I had to fucking switch my sides. I had to say, you know what? This not a religion of peace. It's a religion of fucking war. And I knew the history even then. But I tried to keep a positive mind and say, well, no, it's not all of them. But eventually I couldn't, the evidence is there. I couldn't lie to myself anymore and just say, you know what? Fuck it. Muslims are fucking evil. And they're here to end the goddamn world as we know it, period. So fuck them all. I don't give a shit.
You heard it live.
Yeah.
No, and then I heard, I was watching Mike the Cop. Basically he does police stuff. But he was saying that the family members of the fucking idiot that tried bombing, they were like, oh, poor whatever the hell his name is and all this other stuff. They wanted people to feel compassion for the fucking terrorists. Luckily, it didn't work out well. And he was, oh, poor whatever his name was. And, oh, and all this bullshit. Come on, people. He's a fucking terrorist. Hang his ass. Kill his ass right now.
And that's exactly what I'd put a post up on Facebook earlier, and I don't know if I did something wrong or Facebook removed it, but you know what? With that asshole, have you guys seen the actual video of that yet?
No.
It's out there. There's footage out there of him walking down. The bomb goes off prematurely, and it pretty much all went into him, and he's laying on the ground. And here's my on this. The federal government is now charging him with federal terrorism charges. No, don't. You take him to wherever you need to fucking take this guy for a couple months while he's still alive. You don't even get him a wet washcloth to put on the burns. You just do what you need to do to keep him alive. You interrogate him, get the information you need, and you ship his ass back where he came from in the condition that he's in. Let them take care of him or use a bullet. That's my two options.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating to hear you guys talk, TR and Blue, just from and I'm not backing by any means. It's just an academic point with me. But when the Constitution clashes with religious freedoms and that kind of thing, and TR's like, this is what I think, and I can understand where this is what I think of Muslims and blah blah blah, take them all, blah blah blah. Well, our Constitution guarantees sort of religious freedoms here, and I just think you can't hold up some freedoms and deny others to people. And Blue, if you talk about like torture and
I'm not saying torture. This guy caused this himself. Why is it on the American tax dollars?
I'm just saying for our the right to to not have cruel and unusual
What exactly? You do have a right to not live under, not to be tortured or whatever. But I have the right to live. So if you want to end my life, I can walk up to you, put my gun in your fucking face, and blow your goddamn head off. If you're trying to kill me, I can kill you just as easy. Period. If you're trying to kill 100 people and I walk up and fucking end your life, I save not only myself, I save these other people too. And that's within my constitutional rights. So fuck Muslims. Fuck them in the face.
Yeah, and
Rosie,
I'm not saying torture. I'm not saying this, even though I would not be against torture in some circumstances.
And I'm sure we use it.
If torturing one person that you knew had information saved thousands of people, but what I'm saying is, why does this guy get to make the decision for his religious beliefs, for whatever, to try to murder, let's just say 50 people in that direct area? He made that decision. So why should we render him any type of medical treatment? Why? I mean, he made that decision. Why are we going to be on the bill for all of his skin grafts, for all of his
No. Blue, throw him a pack of Band-Aids and put him in the fucking bus and send his ass home.
I would, and this is my thought, and and he tried to kill people. It's on video. Many people saw it. You try to get the information. If the information is not there, he does not want to give the information up. Two choices: send him back in the condition he's in, or automatic execution. And that goes for anybody, not just because it's a terrorist attack or this. I would like to see that type of. And I know we've discussed this before. I'd like to see that type of swift justice come back to make people, I don't want to say to make people afraid again, but to know that there's a consequence for your action, and that you're not going to be the Charles Manson who lives until, how old was he? 87? Some shit like that. How much money did he cost?
It puts our government in an interesting position, the same as it did during World War II when the Japanese Americans were rounded up and put into internment camps and things like that, even though most of them were natural born in this country and raised in.
Yeah, well, that's a little different, Rosie. I mean, we're not putting a blanket and saying that you can incarcerate people because of their religion or because of their beliefs. What Blue's talking about is an actual crime. What I'm talking about is an actual crime. You know, if you step over the line, then you should be, held to the hardest amount of fucking criminal justice that you.
And our Constitution prescribes the right to remedy of the people against somebody that does that kind of crime. But when you start talking about torturing and starting to use non-constitutional stuff, I mean, I'm just saying, where do you draw the line on, if shoot all the Muslims are bad and all that, all Islam.
No. I didn't say shoot all the Muslims. I didn't say kill all the Muslims. I just said fuck all the Muslims.
Oh yeah, you're right. You did say fuck them. You didn't say kill them. I don't think.
I didn't say kill them all.
You definitely did say fuck them.
I don't know, man.
But if you step over the line, this sympathy for Muslims, this sympathy for immigrants, fuck that. That you do not have a constitutional right to come into our country as an immigrant and start fucking killing people. You don't have that fucking right, period. And if you step over the fucking line, you should get corporal fucking punishment. If you try to kill people, the fucking cops, if they fucking take you to jail They fucking failed. You tried to kill people. Shoot that motherfucker in the face. Period. I don't give a goddamn if he's from fucking Venezuela, if he's from Saudi Arabia, from fucking Russia. I don't give a fuck. He's here in our country trying to kill Americans. And as soon as he does that, as soon as he steps over the line, you shoot that motherfucker in the face. Period. I'm sorry.
Well, and for the safety of the rest of the Americans, I think waterboarding with bacon grease is probably the best thing you can do. I mean, it's worth getting more insight to the next next terrorist attack, whatever it takes. Fuck it. I mean, that's my opinion. You know, it's if you can save more Americans by getting more information from the guy that's half dead anyways, so be it. I think we should do more of it.
I mean, think about it. I mean, you know, I know I sound hardcore, sound fucking awful or whatever. Let's just say that I had a wife and kids. I don't. But let's just say a guy trespasses on my property and he means ill harm to my wife and my kids. Whatever that is. Make up your own mind, whatever it is. You know what? I'm not going to hold him for the police. If he's here to do harm to me, my kids, my wife, I'm killing that motherfucker. Period. I'm not going to stop shooting until my goddamn gun is empty.
All 6 mags.
Yeah, all 6 mags. And I don't think our police should be any different with an immigrant that comes to America and he means to come over here and kill or maim Americans. What's the fucking difference? If it's my yard or I'm a police officer or a border officer and it's my border, what is the fucking difference? Well, this guy's here. He's already, I'm not saying any immigrant. I'm not saying anybody that comes here. I'm just saying somebody that is in the act of doing harm to Americans,
no,
to
in
a
the
person,
act,
to a family.
TR, that is your key word in the act. Let's look at this last subway bombing. This guy was a dumbass. The thing blew up and he was completely incapacitated at that moment. Boom, he was done. He could barely move his arms. At that point in time, let's say one officer showed up or the SWAT team shows up and they stand over top of him and, you know, and okay, problem solved. That would not fly anywhere. However, with these other issues where same type of scenario, which we just saw with the Home Depot truck, to where the guy mowed down the crowd and then he jumped out with a pellet gun or some stupid shit and was trying to get shot. You know, those guys were completely justified in, you know, taking that threat out without a doubt. You know, with what I'd said, by no means am I talking, you know, this guy should have been walked up on and executed. However, my feeling is there is absolutely no way there should be a single tax dollar to go toward his medical expenses to do anything like that. And it should be a swift trial. And if deemed executed or deemed deported immediately, none of this bullshit with, you know, waiting 30 years.
You know,
it's got to be done.
My problem is I don't feel you should have any amendments, Bill of Rights, nothing if you're not an American citizen. And I'm not saying this guy was, but you should not be allowed to have any of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not you're not an American. You can become an American, but until you do it the right way, you don't get those rights. Those rights are earned by being an American. So all that stuff is out the window as far as I'm concerned. Just because you jumped a fence or walked across thing or swam across the river.
I totally agree with you, Rick. Just because you're standing foot in America doesn't mean you get the entire rights of the Constitution.
Yeah,
just because you're standing here doesn't mean you get the rights of every American citizen. You're not a fucking American citizen.
You gotta
don't
earn
get those fucking rights.
That's what I'm saying.
I know and trust me.
That's like the guy that got fucking deported 5 times, arrested 7 times. They basically pretended he was an American and gave him all these rules and rights, and he doesn't get any of that. He's lucky I'm not president.
Yeah. Well,
TR for president 2020.
As much as I seem like a pretty nice guy, I'm a cold-hearted son of a bitch. I really am. I pretty much hate people, period. So like Blue, Rick, Rosie, Rob, the guys and gals that I like, trust me, you would not believe what it means for me to be your friend, because I love all you guys and gals. But if I don't know you and you're a fucking illegal immigrant, I would put a bullet between your fucking eye if you was trying to kill an American citizen. And never fucking blink an eye, never lose a fucking wink of sleep. I would be that guy.
The hangout, the TR Unplugged tonight. How about that?
That's right. And another shot. All right, we're gonna put it in 3rd gear now, ladies and gentlemen.
I think we skip fucking 3rd gear.
Saying, you know, the pushes come for 30 or 40 years in Blue. You should be aware. I don't know how many. Probably not a ton of illegals get flushed out of your area up there. A ton do in our area here, but there's always been a push among the liberals that they should be, and there have been court cases. I don't know what the ultimate resolution is. What law are they subjected to when they're not here legally? They may do something wrong, and of course, you know, in a lot of places, it's subject to the district or the jurisdiction where you happen to be. I mean, here in California, they'll accord them all the rights as if they were constitutionally protected under the United States Constitution. Right to a representation by a lawyer, right to a speedy trial, and all that kind of stuff. I imagine that's pretty much
great. That is 100%. Well, I don't want to say 100%, but I'm damn sure that it's straight across the board like that. Like if an illegal gets charged with a crime in a federal court, they get appointed counsel, they get appointed this, they get appointed that, and it's all on the American taxpayer's dollar. And I don't think that should happen.
I don't think they can be forced to testify against themselves and have their own, you know, so they enjoy a lot of those constitutional freedoms. Or, you know, there's a lot of people that think that's a failing of our system, that we allow people to crap on our country to wrap themselves in a flag when it serves their purpose when they get caught. You know, so it's tough.
That's my biggest pet peeve, basically, of that thing is you do not receive the rights of American citizens when you are not an American citizen. You can go through the process and do it correctly, and then I'd love to see you as another American standing beside me. But the word illegal is illegal.
Yeah, and I'm not against. Let's say that there is an American citizen, and or the country wants to wire money over to afford this individual attorney fees, that type of stuff. That's all good, and that's all good. What I have an issue with is our tax dollars going to represent these people. They're not citizens. They are not. They should not have any rights.
Evidently, this guy had a green card, so that kind of makes him.
Well, yeah, you are. Yeah, that's that catch-20. I don't want to say catch-22, but you know what I mean. That's that gray area.
He'd been deported 5 times. How the fuck does he got a green card?
No, not that guy.
Oh, okay,
no,
different guy.
Is this a different guy?
The subway.
This was the subway jerk.
Oh,
so now what I heard about that was basically the detonation device went off, but the actual explosives.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, as the police was walking up, and I'm not a, like pro fucking police brutality or anything like that. How do you know he don't have a secondary device? Wouldn't you go ahead and shoot him in the face before
Shoot
you
him in
walked
the
up?
face. Shoot him in the
Just
face.
go ahead and shoot him in the face before you walk up, just in case he had another device. How do you know he don't have a hand grenade on him? You don't know that. He's already blew up one fucking bomb.
TR, watch the
Shoot him in the face, then walk up, then arrest him.
TR, watch the video. Literally, this guy was incapacitated to the point where he was laying there and he was so fucked up. It wasn't that he was putting his hands in the air to show the police that he had nothing. It was he landed on his back and just I'm guessing he took so much trauma. He was posturing and his hands were up in the air like this, not by command. It was just that's all he could do.
Why did he even have it?
I still say shoot him in the fucking face just to make sure he didn't have a secondary device. I'm looking out for the police. I mean, because they could have walked up and a hand grenade could have went off. Shoot him in the face, then walk up and handcuff him. This is what I'm saying. I'm looking out for you guys, Blue.
Hey, thanks, man.
Damn it, Blue, you're my boy.
Yeah.
If a motherfucker's up to no good, fucking blow his ass down. Period. I am not a, I don't know how to say it. I'm definitely into my individual rights, my First Amendment, my Second Amendment, and stuff like that. But when you get into a case where somebody is up to no fucking good, if you're not gonna fucking arrest them and hang them tomorrow, fuck it. Shoot him in the face.
Are you really Missy Jens?
Well, I'm sorry his head's gone, but
Yeah, you're Missy Jen's hero tonight, TR. Over here. She's cheering you on the side.
Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, think about it. There's 330 million people in America. We got to look out for each other. And when somebody's up to no good, and I live in the state, South Carolina's got the highest domestic violent rate in America, which is not something I'm proud of. If a man's beating a woman, somebody needs to put that motherfucker down, period. So I understand the difference between there's a fine line between somebody's rights and somebody that's fucking up. And if you're on that line of you're trying to hurt somebody, if you're trying to injure somebody, you know what? As a police officer, as a citizen, whatever it is, you take that motherfucker down, period. Whatever it takes.
TR for police chief.
Yeah, I just don't believe in there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that don't need to be wasting the oxygen that we're breathing. There's only so much oxygen out there. Don't let these motherfuckers breathe this oxygen because I need it.
That's the same people that go to jail for 2 years for something they should be stuck in life with to come out and do the exact same shit.
Missy Jen, this is why TR is running in 2020 for.
Yeah.
Speaking of stupid shit with dumbass sentences and stuff, we had a guy. I think it was like 7 years ago. Was having a domestic with his female, and there was this fight going on. Whatever. He pulls a gun and shoots it above her head. Holds her captive for a couple hours. Finally, it's de-escalated. This son of a bitch ends up with, what was it? It was up to a 3-year prison sentence, up to 3 years. He got out in just over a year, put on probation, and then just last week stabbed another female in the neck during another domestic dispute. What is wrong with the court system?
It's fucked. That's what's wrong.
Too many people incarcerated, I think, are not enough. So we don't have the holding capacity for these.
Rosie, that's the reason why California and a lot of these states need to quit being little pussies and basically eye for an eye or whatever you want to call it.
This was Pennsylvania, so that's how bad it is.
Yeah, and Pennsylvania voted for Trump.
Yeah.
If we don't have room for them,
That
beat them in the face.
I'm just saying, I'm not pro cop to a point, but maybe when you see a situation that you just have to drop a motherfucker.
Rosie, you would be amazed at this slogan right here, how much shit the world can fix.
I know. I'm expecting
the face.
I'm expecting
Right
to
in the face.
on all the targets at Farmageddon. I'm expecting to see bullseye.
I bought new tires for my wife's vehicle yesterday, 2 days ago. They forgot to fucking tighten the lug nuts down. So my wife's leaving the store and she calls me just finger tight on there. So the rim was doing all this shit. I wanted to shoot some people in the face. Tell you what.
Like, you better check your oil when they change your oil and put the fucking drain plug in properly. I had a goddamn oil truck burn up on me because they didn't put the fucking filled drain plug back in.
Sorry.
See, Bob Curious says it right.
You go pay what, $200, $300, $400 for tires, and the dumbasses don't even finger tighten the goddamn lug nuts down on it. Your family's at risk driving on that shit. And
exactly. Guess what I did? I drove right back over there, and I said, I want to talk, because I go, who worked on my vehicle? And they said, oh, there's like 3 guys. I said, okay, bring all 3 of those motherfuckers out here right now. So they did, and I gave them I was cordial and stern, but at the end they understood that people's families are driving around in this shit. Like, fucking pay attention. Double check shit.
I called the goddamn corporate office and said you wouldn't believe what happened down here.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
But if we would do the death penalty again, a lot of the guys that were thinking about doing something bad wouldn't do it because they'd know what would happen. Can I get a hell yeah?
I agree. I just think our law has no teeth in it anymore. So
exactly.
Yeah, a goddamn burglar that falls through a skylight, breaks his back on somebody's kitchen table, can win $1 million, but yet somebody in Rick's position can't even get a free, oil change for a year.
Not too fun spending that $1 million. You're walking around like that the rest of your. Who it comes down hard on is people like Blue, because these assholes are out on the street within a year and they're doing the same shit again, and probably worse, because they're figuring that was the easy time, a year in there, big deal. It's our justice system's a joke.
Well, the justice system is without a doubt a joke. Let's look at a stereotypical drug investigation. Let's say, Rosie, today you decide, you know what, I'm going to start selling cocaine. That is what I'm going to do. And you start getting into it, and you start off small, and over a couple months you get a little bigger, and you start actually, making some money at this. So now all of a sudden, some of the people you're selling to start getting arrested. The word gets back, oh, look, Rosie's the one that's selling us this. So you're already, let's just say, on a minimum 3 to 4 months making money. Not a little bit of money, a pretty good chunk of change. So now the police get involved, and now we have a 4 to 6 month investigation on you, which I don't know why it takes that long. So you have a 4 to 6 month investigation as to where you're still ringing in the money. And then finally, after almost a year of you selling cocaine, you finally get arrested. So you go in front of the judge. The judge is like, oh, you're selling cocaine. This is your first offense. 9 times out of 10, you might do a couple days in jail, but you'll get out before, your trial and everything else. So you're in jail only for a little bit of time. Imagine the money that you made from the time you started till the time you got caught. So now you got caught, you're going through the court process, you kind of pass the business off to somebody else, and you end up with a year's worth of probation after making $100,000 in a year. Let's just say if you're not a dumbass and you actually, watch your finances, there is no doubt that what you make versus what the punishment is, there's no doubt that it outweighs it until you become like the third, fourth, fifth, sixth time convicted person. It doesn't catch up to you, at least here in PA.
Yeah,
and that's bad.
We have this ridiculous rehabilitate mentality instead of punish. So that's the difference.
Oh, and let's not forget that most of the time, and Rosie, this is no slam on you, but most of the time that people that are selling drugs, because I used you as a reference, they're also the people that are on welfare. They receive Social Security benefits. So they're already getting everything paid for. They're popping out kids left and right, so they have that income plus the drug sale income. So, yeah, we are in the way wrong line of business.
Yeah.
All the fun stuff just sells illegal.
I'm going to write a book.
You should write a book.
How to make a shitload of money on the government's expense, basically.
Don't give away all your material then. Yeah, it pisses me off. I'm telling you, if you guys knew when you were a little kid, when you screwed up and your dad was going to beat you with a belt, like you knew, or your mom, you knew not to do that. Mm-hmm. So same goes for when you're 25 years old and you're trying to break into people's homes and you know that when you steal something, your fucking arm's going to get cut off. They're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. They may do it once, but when you can't wipe your ass when you go poop because you did it twice, that sucks. Mm-hmm. You only got to implement it 1 year.
I say we should bring back public hangings.
Yeah.
If you kill or rape somebody to the point to where you get capital punishment and your sentence is death, we should fucking hang your ass or do a public execution for everybody to see.
Live on YouTube.
Yeah, see, live on YouTube. And I guarantee you that shit will fucking stop.
Like that.
Not stop. It'll be cut down tremendously.
It'll be like the Taliban. Let's get a stadium and get that Toyota truck with the mounted guns and go around and have the.
How about if you sent them in the military for 2 years? You want to be a badass gangster?
How about if you serve on a chain gang for 2 years? How about that?
Yeah.
Don't send them to the military, Rick. They're the gang. I
don't want them in
the gang members are already sending their own gang members into the military to receive special training. That's been happening for years. TR probably saw it.
Yeah, you think trannies in the military is bad? You don't want to have thugs on the lines with you. That's for
already there.
Put them on a damn chain gang. Let them be down there like Cool Hand Luke doing the roads down south.
I agree with the chain gangs, the public hangings. We should do that.
I was going to say, Fuzz Fork, thank you. Everyone thank Lyndon Baines Johnson for the welfare thing. Amen, brother. The Great Society, Lyndon Johnson's greatest idea is all the fuckery we have today can be charged right to that guy right there. He's the one that opened the fucking floodgates on reform and rehabilitate and renovate and welfare, the whole fucking shit and caboodle.
All right, I want to bring up one other subject real quick. Now that you mentioned that, Rosie. Just a question. Everybody can chime in on it, and then we'll end this. The fact that Democrats have tried to hold down their own people, I shouldn't say their own people. The Democrats have tried to and successfully held down the black population of America. And throughout history, Republicans have tried to set them free. Whether it's slavery, welfare, whatever it was. I know it sounds terrible, but if you look up the fucking facts, that's just the way it is. Republicans have always stood by the black population, the minority of America, and tried to let them be whatever. This is coming out very wrong. Anyway.
I mean, what you're saying is the Republicans traditionally believe in the value of the individual to lift himself up and make himself better by according him equal freedom to excel and be everything he can be. You're saying the Democrats tend to spoon feed people to keep them dependent and to keep them within the Democratic fold, so they never realize their full and true potential as Americans. I think that's what you're trying to say.
That sounded
Absolutely.
so much better.
He was saying that in Southern.
Yeah, it didn't come out right, but Rosie summed it up.
Yeah, that's the way it's exactly correct. I mean, the TR's, I know what's in his mind, and I think it's a disgrace. It's terrible. It's not believing in a fellow American and not forcing him or her to reach his or her own potential. It's immoral, is exactly what it is. I agree. It's the worst crime that we perpetrate on segments of society. Absolutely, positively, and you've got the courage to say it, and you're correct, TR.
Well, the question is why do minorities, and not a question to you guys and gals, kinda, but your opinion, why do minorities think that they have to vote Democrat to further their cause when actually Democrats are the ones that are their demise?
Because in the short term, they get the benefits of that association. They get treated as if they're their children. That's why. As if they can't do anything for the dependency begins. It's not your fault. You didn't get an education. You know, it ain't your folks' fault. It's the system that did that. And we're here to rectify and to pay you back and to make you whole again by putting you on our tit.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put you on the government tit. You will never be anybody. You can never excel. We'll keep you at this point, at this level. You will always be dependent on us. And somehow they fucking bought into that and they rejoice it. And anybody that has anything to say different from that, they reject it, which I get. You got a handout. You can live at this level. You know, we'll give you enough money to live at this level. And I know you and I, Rosie, Blue, Rick, whatever.
If you can't get more, it's the bad Republicans' fault that you can't get more, right? It's not your own. It's the Republicans' fault that they're capping your tit. They're putting a clamp on the tit. It's their fault. You know, they created this mess and they're responsible. I got to get rolling, TR. I don't know if you're going to wrap up or what, but.
Well, go ahead and do an outro. I'm going to wrap this up. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to get going, guys. But it's really been a insightful chat tonight, TR, with a lot of emotion and a lot of lot of true feeling and there's a lot of sense there. You can sound like the biggest badass in the history of the world, and yet you can be morally correct with your stand, and that's the way I think a lot of this chat is, that the things that we believe are actually helpful to people, and the things that exist now are hurtful to people. So I want to thank you, TR, for having another great chat tonight. And Blue and Rick, stay safe, you guys. So I often think about you and hope that both of you stay safe.
All right. Later, Rosie. Thanks for coming on. I do appreciate it. It's always an honor to have you here.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
Good night, Rosie.
Hi, Rosie.
But the thing I was, getting back to the welfare state or whatever, I mean, I get it. We'll give you this. I'm just throwing some kind of, section out there. We'll give you this. We'll give you welfare. We'll give you food stamps. We'll give you Section 8 housing, and you can live here. But I don't know about you guys. It's not that I want to be a fucking billionaire, which would be nice. I would love to be a billionaire, but I hadn't set my goals that high. But I don't want to live here, but I might want to live here. With what I do for a living, I can't do what the average production worker does. That's not enough for me. That I have no desire. I couldn't do it because I just can't. I have to at least get to here. Like I said, I'm not going to be a billionaire. I'm not going to be a millionaire. I'm not going to, I'm never going to be a wealthy person, but I can't do this amount of work, but I can do this amount of work, and I'm happy with that, and I'm comfortable with it. I can buy a gun when I want it. I can go out to dinner. I can take Sonia out and have a really nice steak dinner and never, ever think about my bank account. I mean, I'm at the point in my life, I've strived to be the person that I can make enough money. I know it's not much, but enough money at least that if I take a lady out for dinner, I don't have to worry about my bank account. But if I'm on food stamps, if I'm on Section 8 housing, if I'm on whatever, here's your little box. That's not good enough for me. I want to be middle of the road up here.
Well, a lot of people find that, and a lot of people have come to the conclusion that that's comfortable for them. They don't have the want or the will or the strive to work towards something. But if you gave everybody, I don't know what the number would be, let's call it $300. Here's $300. But next month it's only $200. And then the next month after that, it's only $100. Like, there's a reason to get off welfare because your shit's running out. You know what I mean? Like, it's an incentive to get off the couch and go fucking work like everybody else that's paying for your shit. And I think that's a good system. But yeah, people are getting comfortable, way too comfortable. And Blue's getting really uncomfortable. He's got to go.
I got to go.
Yeah, well, it's been 2 hours.
Oh, I want to do my catch me outside. How about now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and end this. Rosie's left. Blue's got to go. I be honest, I got to go to work tomorrow myself. So let's go ahead and end this. But I think most of us are on the same page, and I agree with you, Rick. They should. And if I'm not mistaken, they are starting to do that where they're cutting the benefits down because, basically what is the old saying, give a man a fish, he can eat for a day, teach a man to fish, he can eat for a life, for the rest of his life. And that's what welfare should be. It should be a handout when they need it. but not a lifestyle.
And drug testing.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, let's end this. And Blue, would you like to do an outro?
Just want to say good night to everybody. It was an interesting chat. My opinions are my own. I may or may not agree with the opinions of the members on the panel and or the external chat for legal purposes. But that's all I got to say. It was a good chat. But yeah, we will catch you guys next time. And for anybody that's still watching this, I've got a ton of videos that I got to do. I got to do a video for Mel over at Right to Bear Customs. I got to do a video for the C-Max prize package that I won. I got to do, God, I got like 3 goddamn videos I got to do. And wintertime is not good for me, but I will get them done. And we'll see you guys next time.
Take your time, man. It don't matter. It's all good. Rick, would you like to do an outro?
Yeah, I want to say Blue's little like thing to keep him like out of trouble at work. That was pretty awesome. So yeah, and everything that these guys said, I completely agree with, but I'm not allowed to say this, so I won't. But I do. No, thank you guys for supporting Mr. TRprepper in his chat. Love seeing you guys out there, and enjoy all your comments, of course. So have a Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you before then, and stay safe. And see you on the next one.
All right. Later, everybody. Thanks for coming by. I hope I didn't piss anybody off.
Kill everyone.
Overboard this time, but anyway, later.